Joining us now to talk about, well, healthcare and what this means for you and me to some extent is James Robbins, Senior Fellow in National Security Affairs at the American Foreign Policy Council and member of USA Today's Board of Contributors. Hey, James, good to talk to you again.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Really well.
All right. So this data mining that's going on, the information that's going to be gathered, you know, if this was if the health care bill was something that America favored, if this was something that Americans believed was well-intended and was working out fine and was ready to be implemented and people were looking forward to it, and there was no IRS scandal, no Justice Department scandal, no Benghazi scandal, even then, if Americans knew the scope of what information would be gained or gathered on them and where it would be going and who would be using it, they'd be outraged. But when you put it in the context that I just alluded to, it is downright frightening.
Yeah, it's very bad. According to the law, the data hub, as it's called, will contain information from across about 7 different federal government agencies, plus some state agencies, plus third-party private groups like credit bureaus and things that will collect information on you. And then all of this information put in one place will be given to tens of thousands of contractors and community organizers and people like that, ostensibly to help you navigate Obamacare, but in fact, who knows what they're going to do with it?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. There's absolutely no way to tell whose hands, though, it will fall into. So talk about exactly what kind of information we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about medical records, for one, which is, to me, is enough.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely all of your medical records will be digitized and put into the data hub. So that's, I mean, that right off the bat, that's pretty bad. But if you add that to all the financial information that the IRS and the state that you live in has, your Social Security number and all Social Security information will be in there. If you have an incarceration record, you know, if you're unfortunate enough to have that, that'll be in there, your immigration status, and other things that the government might want to collect. It'll all be put in one place, so anybody who wants to find out everything about you just can do one-stop shopping.
Right, and here's another scary part of it all is, you know, people could hack it and get the information, but, you know, this will leak out. You know, banks are hacked and banks make mistakes, and the IRS gets hacked and they make mistakes sometimes on purpose. And this information will get out. Then it will go to prospective employers and others, and it opens up a whole new avenue of horrors for people who will be looking for work. And, you know, this company seems to have a little secret database that they got some names from, and they search around to see if they could find Joe Blow. And when they find Joe Blow, they see he's on antidepressants or something, and they say, well, we don't want a guy like that here. I mean, it's just what could happen here, it's going to be unprecedented.
It's really kind of a nightmare for privacy, and HHS says that, oh, you know, we're going to have a secure data hub and stuff. It won't be able to be hacked into. But if the Department of Defense and the NSA can't keep a handle on their information, I seriously doubt that Health and Human Services is going to somehow have the magic wand that will keep this all safe. And in any case, I'm not so much concerned about a hacker getting hold of it. I'm concerned about the people who use it day to day, these community organizer types and people from nonprofit groups and contractors that they hire, and they say they'll be given training and stuff, but come on.
Well, yeah, could you say Edward Snowden? I mean,
yeah, exactly. He was given training.
Right.
And, you know, I worked in the government. I handled secure documents, and we had counterintelligence training and stuff, and they said, you know, and if you break the law, you go to jail and things like that. It was pretty intensive. But these, you know, this is HHS. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, we're talking to James Robbins, Senior Fellow, National Security Affairs of the American Policy Council, Foreign Policy Council, and he is a member of USA Today's Board of Contributors here on the Steve Malzberg Show. What about what I was saying at the beginning, turning a little political here? What, you know, you have your ear to the ground there. What are you hearing about Congress and their willingness to fight this? I mean, you know, it's so disappointing as someone who has been looking forward to the purse strings being closed or being tied or being limited for Obamacare to defund one part of it or many parts of it or all of it. And now I've asked several congressmen, starting with Congressman Scott Garrett and then Peter King and others, and they all agree that the leadership wants no part of that because it could lead to a veto of the budget and a government shutdown, and they don't think it's a winning issue.
Well, I have it on pretty good authority that, at least on the issue of the data hub and things like that, that there is increasing concern in Congress over this. It was supposed to be implemented this October, and HHS keeps saying like they're getting around to it, like they're trying to get organized. But as they actually are starting to do it, people in Congress are starting to ask the same questions that you and I are just been asking, like, do we really want to have this? So if Congress is looking for something to defund, this might be part of it. However, if you do take the data hub, so-called, out of the equation, it'll be extremely hard to implement Obamacare at all.
Yeah, but see, that I think is that's a good idea. I mean, that's a winning issue. You tell folks we're defunding this part where your privacy will be protected in the wake of the IRS scandal and everything else. That's absolutely a winning issue. Exactly. Let's just see if they have the brains on the leadership side to go through with it. James, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.